Hey guys, it's Kelly again. Hey, really quick, I've been playing with these leaves since I did these, the last video that I did. And I wanted to try it with gesso, and I went and I got some stencils because I don't have like the traditional shapes of leaves, of autumn leaves. So I went and I got a simple stencil, and I don't want to refocus, but there's some cool ones in there. So I used some, this is just another technique I want to share super quick. I used some gesso, and what I did was I just put the stencil down and then put kind of a thick coating of gesso down, let it dry. Like I've said, I'm an impatient scrapper, so I used my heat tool to let it dry faster. And then I added, after the gesso was dry, I added different colors of alcohol ink. I wanted more yellow because for the project that I have a lot of deep dark colors. I have the browns and the reds, but I needed some contrast in there, so I needed some yellow. So I want to try something different, so just used cardstock, the stencil, painted it over with some gesso, and then once the gesso dried, again I put alcohol ink on it and just played with it. It looked totally different before I did the next step. After the gesso was dry, then I put the embossing ink, Stampendous, the same thing I used this last time, the clear embossing ink. I put that on top of the gesso. Then I used the Alamode clear embossing powder, just like I did on the other one, and I heated it up. And when I heated it up, I don't know if you can see this one, I'll show you really close. There it goes. All the little red dots in there, the color completely changed. And I love how the bubbles come up, because real leaves will do that. They'll get those little bubbles in there. But this looks very man-made. It doesn't look as real as the other ones, but it's kind of cool. It's a different, sometimes you might want a little more, look at the back, that's kind of funny. But sometimes you might want a little more texture to it, even more than what we had last time, and the gesso gives you that. So hopefully you can see that. So I did it on that one, and obviously I had to fussy cut these, so these were not as quick and easy as the other ones, so I still like that the other way so much better. This is just a different way to do it if you needed something that's a little thicker and has a little bit more texture to it. So, and again, all these little red dots, the ink just like does magic when you put the embossing powder on it and then you start heating it up. And with the gesso underneath, it gets all crazy and starts bubbling. So super cool. You just never know what you're going to wind up with. There's that one. And then this one looks like it has warts because I let the gesso really get bubbled. But I'll show you really quick how it does this. This is one I just did and cut in a square. And this is what it looks like before you put the embossing powder on it. It still has this shine to it. It's a little bit sticky though. So I thought that was kind of neat. I have no idea what I would use that for, but I was just playing around with different techniques and thought I would share it with you. So this one, I just put some embossing ink on there. I'm really interested to see how this one's going to come out. And then I gotta get some of that ink off because it's contaminating my spongy thing. Oh my gosh, I'm throwing stuff everywhere. Okay, so I take it, put it in my powder, shake it around. There's a little powder party. I feel like I'm kind of being redundant here, but it's actually a different technique. I like the other one better, like I said. It's a lot easier, but if you need something really thick with a lot of texture, this one will probably work out nice. But they look more man-made. I'm not crazy about that. Ah, we're on the move. So you see it bubbling? Totally changes the look of the whole thing. And all the colors change. I just think that's so cool. This one has some warts on it, so it's not my favorite. I'm going to show you that. it still has really super unique, cool textures that I show. So there you go. That's another way. But the faster way is to do it the way I did it the last time with these. You just ink it and then you emboss it. So there's a tutorial on my channel. I just posted about that one. So anyway, thought I'd share that one too. That's another option with some gesso and some alcohol ink and some embossing powder. And again, you don't even have to do the embossing if you don't want to, because it still turns out pretty cool. If I had some way of die cutting these really cool different leaves, I wouldn't have done the stencil and fussy cutting and all that, but I just don't have that, so that's what I did. Alright, thanks!